Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitaBugHandmaids.com. Thank you so much for joining me today for another Stampin' Up! Tutorial. So today I am sharing a project with you featuring two different stamp sets. So my sentiment for today's card is going to come from the Little Delights stamp set. Love this set. Love that it covers a variety of occasions and has images to match. And then I'm also using the Love of Leaves stamp set for this leaf image. And I've got the coordinating dies here. These are called the Stitched Leaves dies. So you've got a die that cuts out the leaf, but then it also leaves behind this stitched border that you could also use on your project. So really fun dies. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's project. All right, I've got all of my pieces here. So I am gonna start with this piece of crumb cake. This is cut 1.5 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And then I've just got a scrap piece of Whisper White. Got Early Espresso ink. And then Cajun Craze. I stamp my sentiment in Early Espresso, and I love the font for this sentiment. And it just says, "You're such a blessing." So I'm just putting that off to the left on my piece of crumb cake. And then I'm going to stamp my leaf in Cajun Craze, and we're going to die cut this out. So just put that in the center. Looks good. And then I'm also gonna bring in one of our medium basic white envelopes. Let me find, I'll just use this piece of designer paper, which is going on my envelope. I'll just use that as some scrap paper. I'm just gonna ink up my leaf again. And get that in the corner there. Okay, looks good. All right, I've got my mini machine here and my plates. So I'm just gonna put plate number 1. And then I've got a cutting plate, which is plate number 2. Get my leaf. And then I've got the die cut to go right on top. So I'm just going to center that up. That looks good. Got a little scrap piece of sticky note that's almost lost all of its sticky, but it'll work for this. And another cutting plate on top, and we'll just run that through. I know I say it every time, but I love my mini machine. I use it so much. Okay, so let me just show you. Whoop, my leaf went onto the floor. So what you get when you use these dies, these stitched leaves dies, you get, using that leaf, the die cut of the leaf, and then you get this piece left that has the stitching all around the edge. So really, really fun. You could use this on a project if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside and we can go ahead and start assembling the card. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put this designer paper onto my flap here. So my liquid glue here. And this designer paper is from the Harvest Meadow designer paper, which is found in the annual catalog. And I just cut this down 2.5 inches by 6 inches. And then all you've got to do is just trim off that little bit that hangs over the edge of the flap. Okay, so that's done. Now we can start putting this card together. So I have got a Cajun Craze card base. This is cut 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And then I've just scored it at 5.5 inches. This is my favorite way to orient cards. Makes them a vertical opening card, and I just love that. Okay, so for my layers, this is a piece of soft succulent. This is cut 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And then this is more of that Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper. This is cut 3 1/4 inches by 4.5 inches. And I'm just gonna pop that right on top. And I'm gonna use my liquid glue because I still need to refill my Stampin' seal. Just haven't done it, so All right, just center that right up. Looks good. And then a little more liquid glue. And just put that right onto our card base in the center. Alrighty, looks good. Then we'll take our sentiment and just put that across the center towards the top. I think right there looks good. Yep, that looks good. Then I've got this crumb cake twine. This comes from the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. You get crumb cake, basic white, smoky slate, very vanilla, and basic black. Love that little pack. And it looks like my ribbon snips are downstairs, so I'm just gonna use these. It'll be fine on twine. Just making a little, oh, why did that not work well? Couldn't pull it through. There we go. Just tying a little bow. That looks good. And then I'll just grab a glue dot and roll it up. And I'm actually going to stick the glue dot to my twine here. Whoops. Okay, and then I'll pop it onto the bottom of my leaf. Whoa. There we go. Then a couple of dimensionals on the back of this leaf. I'll just pop that on right about there. Looks good. And just trim the ends here. My twine. Okay, and then lastly, I've got these champagne rhinestones. I'm just gonna add 3 of these. So I'll do, whoops, a medium size, then a small one, and then one more medium, just right down there. Okay, and that finishes up the card. I really love how this card turned out. Very simple, and it'll be very easy. You could put a variety of different messages on the inside with that you're such a blessing sentiment. So really fun fall inspired card. So I love that. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's tutorial. Don't forget you can find all of the measurements and supplies for this project down below in the video description, and over on today's coordinating blog post, which is linked down below. So thank you guys so much for joining me today, and stay tuned. I'll be back again very soon with another tutorial for you. Bye now.